I'm looking after the children. I go back to the family home, and then when my ex-husband is looking after the children, he does, and it was done primarily to support my son with his additional needs and to provide stability for them during the divorce. And that was the arrangement that we put in place. I then went to purchase, took my life savings basically out of the property, the 25% that I still owned within the property, took that money out so that I could purchase with a mortgage the place in Hove. And I took, advice on that, and I relied on that legal advice that I received that said that I was liable to pay the standard stamp duty. Subsequently to that, with all of the media reports that have been coming out, I took expert counsel advice on all of my affairs to ensure that everything was done proper. And that expert counsel said that the advice that I received was inaccurate because of the trust. I don't own the property, that is true. I only own one property that is mortgaged, like most people. But because of the nature of the trust that was set up by the court, that I would be liable to pay the additional stamp duty. As soon as I knew that that was the case, I have alerted and referred myself to the independent advisor on the ministerial code to ensure that they can look transparently at what's happened, and also contacted HMRC to say that there is additional tax owing on this and that I'm prepared to pay that and fully comply with the HMRC.
Angela Rayner has rejected claims she dodged tax on the sale of her former council house, insisting she followed the rules to the letter. The Labour deputy leader says the row is nothing more than a distraction aimed at undermining the government's work, but the timing is awkward. Prime Minister Keir Starmer is trying to shift attention to delivery, and delivery, his own words, as Labour moves into what he calls the second phase of government. After last year's landslide win, Starmer admits that the public is frustrated at the pace of change. Immigration is front and center. Starmer has promised to close every asylum hotel, more than 200 across the UK, by the end of this parliament. He says he wants to move faster, but refused to set a new deadline. Asked how he'd feel if there was one at the end of his own street, Starmer admitted he would not want it, echoing concerns of local residents. He also took direct aim at Nigel Farage and Reform UK, dismissing their calls for mass deportations and ripping up refugee conventions as fanciful politics of grievance. Starmer insists Labour will solve problems with workable, fair solutions, not anger. Still, Labour, MPs and marginal seats want more than words. They're demanding milestones, proof that the backlog is shrinking and that fewer hotels are being used. Without that, they fear reform could exploit frustration at the ballot box. Starmer is now narrowing Labour's mission to three big goals: growing the economy, fixing the NHS, and securing Britain's borders. With a difficult budget looming this autumn, the pressure is on. For Labour, turning promises into visible results will define whether voters stay patient or lose faith.